Monday. That's right. Monday, March 28th. 87 days into the new year. 277 days left. We are live from a bunker right here in downtown Burbank, California. I'd like to welcome everybody listening all around the world, all across the United States. Hither and thither, to and fro, back and forth, up and down, east and west, north and south, far and near. It's Fade to Black. For KJCR, the Game Changer Network, and KGRA, the Planet. I'm your oh so humble host, Jimmy Church. What is cracking, everybody? Great weekend. No time off. Had a nice little run, Easter weekend run on Coast to Coast. Had enough time to get a couple hours of sleep yesterday and then just work on the show this week. We have not taken our foot off the gas. It's good to be back in the chair, though. See, over at Coast, I stand. It's old school over there. It's nice, but I stand for 4 hours. Imagine that, standing for 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours. I get there at 8 o'clock at night. Show doesn't start till 10. I'm standing. There's no place to sit. There's no chairs. It's a torture chamber, man. Got to talk to George about that. So now I'm sitting in my chair in the bunker, getting ready for Corey Goode tonight. Tonight, to kick off our secret space program, Breakaway Civilizations Week, right here on Fade to Black. Tonight, it's Corey Goode. Tomorrow night, Joseph P. Farrell is here. And then on Wednesday, Richard Dolan will be joining us. Great week, very anticipated. Put this show together for 6 months. That's right. To be able to get all these schedules lined up together to get everybody on this week and to do this. Yeah, it's huge. It's big. It's epic. And it is going to be an amazing week. Now, I say it all the time, and I mean it. I'm here to learn. That's what this show is about. So if I'm sitting, what it is you get to cheat. You get to cheat. I'm the guy taking the notes in class. So you can go and goof around, right? That's it. I'm the guy in here learning. And if you see that, you hear that, you feel that, you can touch that, then you are riding right along with me. It's going to be great. This is going to be an amazing week. I just when we decided about 6 months ago to put this program together, we took a crack at it, couldn't quite do it, couldn't get everybody lined up, tried it again a month later, just couldn't get scheduled. This week, we made it happen. Very, very excited. So let's do all of this now. And the other thing about how epic this week is going to be, after Corey, after Joseph, J.P. Farrell, Richard Dolan, then on Thursday night, John Rappaport will be here starting the premiere of No More Fake Newsroom Thursday night. What a great week this is going to be right here on Fade to Black. Very excited about all of this. Now, okay, couple of notes. Life Change Tea. I announced this at the beginning of every show because this is very important. And to all of the new listeners that are listening to the show tonight, you support yourself by supporting our sponsors. That's how this works. Then you support the show. It goes in that order. Life Change Tea. Help yourself. Go to Life Change Tea right now. They've got some really cool specials up on the website. And the one that I love that they're running right now is 2 months of the Super Strength Tea. You get a bottle of Moringa for $5 and use Jimmy as the promo code, and you get free shipping. Go to getthetea.com right now. The banners are at jimmychurchradio.com. All of the banners on our website, every one of those, you are supporting the show. All right, Studio Dome got the new commercials up. You'll hear them in a little bit. Their new system that they have, the Bluetooth speaker system, I need to get you to absorb this. You get 2 full-range boom boxes with 2 drivers. Full range. You get 2 of those. So you have a portable stereo slamming system. So you go to the back patio, you're having a cookout, not 1 Bluetooth speaker. No. You've got 2 running in stereo. It's brand new, true wireless stereo Bluetooth technology. True stereo, a real portable system. You go to the park. You're at the park with your friends. Got a kegger going on. 2 speakers, slamming stereo. You got your Van Halen in the park. It's an amazing system, and it's $129. List price of $399. You get it for $129 with free shipping and a hard shell case. It is the best. Studio Dome loves Fade to Black and loves the Fadernauts. This is done just for you. Use the promo code JCRTWS. It's an amazing system. I have one. It's amazing. What this sounds like, you just don't know. It's incredible. It's true wireless stereo. All right, so just go to the banners right there at jimmychurchradio.com. Support the show. All right, and coming up, April 29th to May 1st. We're sitting at March 28th today, the New Living Expo, April 29th to May 1st up in San Mateo, California. I cannot wait to go and hang out with everybody up there. And Daniel Brinkley, Tricia McCannon, Stephen Greer, Nassim Haramain, Greg Braden, Scott Walter. It's going to be great. All right? So that is April 29th through May 1st. If you go to jimmychurchradio.com, our complete summer schedule is there. New Living Expo, Contact in the Desert, the Roswell Festival, UFOs Within Reach up in Big Bear. Boom. Full summer of Fade to Black on the road. All right, let's get the show cracking. Fired up. Corey Goode is in here tonight. Today, Vince Vaughn is 46 years old. Yeah, I like Vince. I like me some Vince. Nick Frost is 44. Did you see him in that E.T. movie? Yeah, see? Is the site down? Just refresh your page, man. Just refresh your page if you're getting that message. Nick Frost today is 44. Did you see him in that movie, Paul? You know, the E.T. movie? That's Nick Frost, the big guy. Funny dude. And also today, Illuminati spokesperson Lady Gaga is 30. Sue me. Follow us on Twitter at JChurchRadio. That's what you want to do, at JChurchRadio. If you don't have TweetDeck, get TweetDeck. Hashtag F2B is the sandbox. It's going to be on fire tonight, like it is every night. Come and hang out with us. You know that we don't bite. Tonight, Corey Goode. Tomorrow night, Joseph P. Farrell. Wednesday night, Richard Dolan. This is our Secret Space program, Breakaway Civilizations Week, right here on Fade to Black. On this day in history, 1979. Nuclear accident at 3 Mile Island. Yeah, it happened at 4 a.m. in the morning on March 28, 1979. The worst accident in U.S. history that we know about of a U.S. nuclear power industry begins when a pressure valve in the Unit 2 reactor at 3 Mile Island fails to close. That's right. Flooded the water, flooded everything, and we almost had a real nuclear meltdown. Fader fact. Check this. The average Bugatti customer has 84 cars, 3 jets, and a yacht. 84 cars. What do you do with 84 cars? I could see having 5. You know, you got your V8 sports car, you got your V12 sports car, you've got your hybrid, you know, Prius, so you're not embarrassed in front of certain people when you go to events, and maybe a nice 4-wheel drive, you know, an SUV. I could see that. 84 cars? Really? Okay, because I'm going to get into this right now. The secret space program, breakaway civilizations. This is something that is so widely discussed today, but it's nothing new. And what I mean by that is going back to Alternative 3 is an example of that. But if you go back even further to Wernher von Braun in 1958, 1959, 1960 in Operation Paperclip and how that was handled, I think that was the origins of the secret space program. And what I mean by that is there was another program that was running in the background. Yeah, it's running in the background. And when Bart Seibel or, certainly Stanley Kubrick and Jay Weidner and the Apollo moon hoax, and if we went there or not, I quite honestly believe that we went, but we just didn't go the way that they said we did. So the question arises, where'd the money go? Right? Where did the money go? Now, stay with me on this. Where did the money go? When the Apollo program stopped, space shuttle kicks off, there's a huge vacuum, and not only money, but personnel, too, as well. What happened? Or was there something running at the exact same time? Seems plausible, but we need to follow the money. Now, when the revelations came down about the missing $3 trillion 20 years ago, when that hit, right, night before September 11th, when that hit, $3 trillion in the year 2000 money is huge. It's big, big, super dollars. We're talking about money that the entire world runs on, but yet it's missing. Poof. And if it was missing then what happened in 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004? Because the money's coming in. But if they were able to hide it and lose it once, then what happened in the years following, all the way up to now, 2016? So I went and started to look at this a little bit. And you look at something like the average Bugatti customer with 84 cars, 3 jets, and a yacht. Think about that for a second. There is money out there that we don't see. And it's a lot. So I went and jumped into a few figures today. And I'm here to make you a little bit angry, but also to listen to Corey Goode tonight. I need you to listen to Joseph P. Farrell tomorrow night. I need you to listen to Richard Dolan on Wednesday. Because the accusations, the stories, the experiences, and the evidence and the research that is going to be presented over the next 3 days, all of this hinges on, how does this get paid for? Where does the money come from? Corey presents some pretty incredible evidence, and so is Joseph tomorrow night and Richard. But these programs, this Alternative 3, this breakaway civilization, a secret space program, and the technologies involved get funded somehow. And what we are not doing in this country is spending money where we should, because we're spending it on a breakaway civilization. We're spending it on underground facilities. We're spending it on a secret space program. We're spending it on black projects. Now, listen to this. The president's budget request for the United States Department of Education for the year of 2017 is just $69.4 billion. And that includes a $1.3 billion increase over 16 and 15. That's it. $69.4 billion. Now, what is true here is that a lot of the funding that happens in our education system at the elementary school, preschool, elementary, junior high, and high school level comes from locals. I get that. But the federal budget and federal funding for the Department of Education is only $69.4 billion. And we question not to spend any time on this at all. I'm talking about numbers here. But when we talk about teachers and schools and facilities and equipment and computers and books, lunch programs, we only spend $69.4 billion, which probably annually we're missing a couple of trillion. Now just listen to this. The Federal Highway Administration, the FHWA, the Federal Highway Administration, guess what that funding is for 2017? $44 billion. That's it. In the fiscal year for 2015, military spending was $598.5 billion. 54% of all federal discretionary spending. But yet we can lose $3 trillion. Now, where is the money going? Right now, $3.8 trillion is spent in combined discretionary, mandatory, and interest spending budgeted by Congress for 2015. That is the latest numbers that we have that we can go and peel apart. $3.8 trillion. Now, although this budget, you can cut that in half going back to 2000, right? And if $3 trillion was missing then, now we're talking about 75%. 75% missing. Now, it is so important to grasp the importance of this kind of money because right now, the discretionary spending that I'm talking about, which is $1.11 trillion. I had just said the military spending is $598 billion. There is a category called Other, $276 billion. Education, like I said, around $70 billion. Housing and community services, $63 billion. This is on the federal level. International affairs, $41 billion. That's it. Energy and the environment, $39 billion. Transportation, $26 billion. That's it. Mandatory spending in the country is $2.45 trillion. And that covers Medicare and health at $1 trillion. Social Security at $1 trillion, $900 million. Another category called Other, $433 billion, $500 billion. Food assistance in the United States, $104 billion. And unemployment insurance at $36 billion. For a total mandatory spending budget of $2.45 trillion. You add the discretionary spending on top of that, $1.11 trillion, and you come up with the magic number of 3.5. It's actually closer to 3.8 when you add some other revenue and borrowing on top of that. It's $3.8 trillion. So the most powerful, gnarliest country in the world spends that much, but yet, and I promise you, missing in the background is the same amount of money. Where is it going? And if we took a portion of $1 trillion, a portion, we can double all of the discretionary spending and mandatory spending and increase it in education. $70 billion, we could double it. Double it. We could build and rebuild every road and bridge in the country and not tap into any money anywhere. But we don't, because we're spending that money somewhere else. Where is it going? This is my point. You cannot see it. You can't see where this money is going. Trillions of dollars. You can't see it. We don't see it in our streets. We don't see it in our buildings, our education system, our bridges, street lights. We could rebuild Detroit 20 times over, bottom to top. But we don't see it. Why? It's being spent on a secret space program, underground bases. Think about this. So when you hear Corey Goode speak tonight, and you hear Joseph P. Farrell speak tomorrow night, and you hear Richard Dolan speak on Wednesday, and before you ask, wait a minute, how can this be? I've just presented it to you. And these are facts. This is not made up. There cannot be a black budget that you can explain away with submarines, special ops forces, some fancy guns. You can't account for that much money. And they can't, because it's being spent on something you simply cannot see. Corey Goode tonight. I cannot wait. All right. This is Fade to Black, and I know you guys are chomping at the bit. It's going to be great. Now, a couple of things that I got to get to before I bring in Corey Goode, because some of the biggest news of the summer broke last Thursday and Friday. And I will let you know that I have, including right before the show today, a few minutes before 7, I reached back out to Guns N' Roses, because AC/DC halted a tour this month and said that they would likely hire a guest vocalist because the 68-year-old Brian Johnson was at risk of completely losing his hearing if he kept performing. Brian Johnson's upset. He feels like he was thrown to the curb, that his hearing isn't that bad, but and that AC/DC, kind of took this upon themselves and did it behind his back. But the rumor is, and it looks like it is about as solid as it gets, that Axl Rose will front AC/DC for the 10 remaining shows that they have in the North American tour. Rose has been spotted in Atlanta, and he is rehearsing with AC/DC. Seriously. So if you close your eyes a little bit, just close them, and picture Axl singing Back in Black, I'm kind of cool with it. I really am. I know it's trippy. It's a funky thought. But I think Axe can pull it off. I really do. I know he can hit the notes, and I know he can. But I'm just saying, AC/DC is an attitude as well. That's the thing. It's one thing to sing it and to sound like it, but it's got an attitude with it. I can hear him singing Hell's Bells. Well, it looks like it's reality. And, man, I'm just trying to get confirmation out of the band. The rumors are one thing, but I'm watching Twitter right now. I think I just freaked out a couple of 100,000 people. I didn't mean to do it, but, it's out there. And I will get confirmation. I'll have it by tomorrow night on the show. Get Dizzy in here or something. All right. The Department of Justice says that the FBI has accessed the iPhone used by one of the gunmen in San Bernardino. That's right. Law enforcement officials were able to break into the phone used by Syed Farouk with the help of an unnamed third party. It's that Israeli company. What were they called? I'll think of it here in a second. Government officials did not go into detail about what was found on the phone. Of course, we do want to know, but the The release said today, and I'm quoting here, the FBI has now successfully retrieved the data stored on the San Bernardino terrorist iPhone and therefore no longer requires the assistance from Apple required by this court order. And that was the Department of Justice spokeswoman, Melanie Newman. Now, the DOJ is dropping the case against Apple since it no longer needs the company's help. My problem with this, good for the FBI, whatever. But now they know how to do it. And so does the company that did it. And that Apple, if this spins out of control, it's Apple's fault. And you're not going to be able to sit back and go, well, we told them no, so, we stood our ground. We have our morals. No. You could have kept it in-house, and you didn't. And you forced a very bad organization, the FBI, and an Israeli company to figure out how to crack an iPhone. And I'm wondering now, what's Apple's stock like, right? So now you have a phone that can be cracked by anybody. You know what I'm saying? Think about that for a second. Well, it happened today. U.S. Capitol Police shot a Tennessee man this afternoon after he pulled a gun out at the Capitol Visitor Center. Apparently, he walked through a metal detector. They detected the weapon. He whipped the weapon out, started pointing it at the cops, and got shot. Female bystander was injured by shrapnel. And the gunman himself was identified as Larry Russell Dawson. He was driving a Ram pickup truck that they're searching right now, live on TV, I'm sure, and was transported to a local hospital for surgery. And, yes, they recovered his weapon at the scene. That's all I got for now. We'll save the rest for later. This is Fade to Black. Our guest tonight is Corey Goode. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. When I come back after this short break, Corey Goode, Secret Space Program and Breakaway Civilizations. We've got all kinds of new stuff that is it's going to be revealed tonight for the first time. Corey Goode. It's going to be a great show, great conversation. Be patient. I'll be right back.
You're listening to Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
Fade to Black will now pause for alien identification.
The station that talks the net. KGRA Radio.
What's up, revolutionaries? It's me, Jimmy Church. Do you have an IRS or state tax issue? Well, I did, and I called national tax experts. My problems were fixed, done, fini, and man, I gotta tell you, it was a relief. National tax experts are a recognized tax office that services clients in all 50 states. Doesn't matter where you live. Give them a call. I'm telling you, they take the time to understand each and every client's individual financial status as well as their financial goals. And that's exactly what you need, my brother, when you're taking on the evil three-letter. So, seriously. Give them a call today at 1-877-909-5444. Again, 1-877-909-5444. Or go check out their website, www.nattaxexperts.com. That's NATTAXEXPERTS.com. Tell them Jimmy sent you.
Poor water quality is a major health issue, and it's only getting worse. Municipalities can't keep up, standards have dropped, and pollutants are increasing. Where does it all end? It ends by keeping the pollutants outside of your home with HydroCare's advanced systems available at Wave Home Solutions. No less than the best purification materials and processes have been developed by HydroCare to provide you with healthy, clean water for drinking, cooking, and showering. HydroCare far surpasses the competition in removing chlorine, odors, iron, lead, chemicals, limescale, and much more. Don't settle for less when it comes to your water. We'll take care of the toughest water problems for you, whether it's from a city or well source. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, call 888-997-WAVE. That's 888-997-WAVE. Or go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
9 out of 10 geneticists agree.
Fade to Black is not your father's radio show on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, The Planet.
Hi, this is Chase Kletsky with Fate Magazine Radio, and you're listening to Jimmy Church and Fade to Black on the Game Changer Network and the KGRA digital broadcast station, where the Fade or Nots rock.
Hi, this is Rob Reiner from Anvil, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
What's up? I'm Chris. What up? This is Kyle Massey, and you're listening to Jimmy Church Radio.
Welcome back to Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Network and KGRA, The Planet. Tonight is night one of our Breakaway Civilizations and Secret Space Program week right here on Fade to Black. Kicking it off tonight with Corey Goode. Corey was identified as an intuitive empath with precognitive abilities and was recruited through one of the MyLab programs at the young age of 6. Goode trained and served in the MyLab program from 1976 to 1986 and 1987. Towards the end of his time as a MyLab, he was assigned to the IE support role for a rotating Earth delegate seat shared by secret Earth government groups in a human-type ET Super Federation Council. Goode's IE abilities played an important role in communicating with non-terrestrial beings, termed interfacing, as part of the Secret Space Program. During his 20-year service, he had a variety of experiences and assignments, including the Intruder Intercept Interrogation Program, assignment to the ASSR-ISRV Auxiliary Specialized Space Research, Interstellar Class Vessel, and much more. This all occurred in a 20 and back agreement from 1986 all the way through 2007, with recall work until the present day. He now works in the information technology and communications industry with 20 years experience in hardware and software, virtualization, physical and IT security, counter-electronic surveillance, risk assessment, and executive protection. He served in the Texas Army State Guard from 2007 to 2012, command, control, communications, and computation and intelligence. That has nothing to do, by the way, with what he does with the SSP. Goode is in direct physical contact with the Blue Avions of the Sphere Being Alliance, who have chosen him as a delegate to interface with multiple ET federations and councils on their behalf, liaison with the SSP Alliance Council, and to deliver important messages to humanity. Of course, his website is spherebeingalliance.com. You can click on that over at jimmychurchradio.com. And I would like to welcome back to Fade to Black our good friend, Corey Goode. Corey, good evening.
Good evening. Thank you. I don't think you missed one controversial detail in my bio there.
Man, you know what, Corey? It took a big breath. But, I decided tonight to go full on, and I appreciate it. And let's start off with this. I want to, there's a large audience tonight that is here for the first time that may have never heard you speak. So I want to address them first. That I want them to kind of get a picture of who you are, because you have been, you've done some Gaiam TV stuff, but pretty much you've been behind the scenes and speaking through David Wilcock and with David. That's fine. But I got to meet you personally a couple of months ago. We got to hang out for the first time because we've always done stuff, over the phone and so forth through this show. But I want to say to everybody, Corey Goode's a real guy. And he's actually a really good-looking guy, too. But he's real. And when I looked into your eyes, and this is what I want the audience to understand, is when I looked at you, met you, shook your hand, and hung out with you, I realized that your feet are on the ground, you're uber smart, you're intelligent, and this comes from that, your entire presentation and everything. I need the audience to understand because they see the web, right? They see the stuff, but I have met you personally, and there is such integrity there that the audience really needs to wrap their mind around that. And that's where I wanted to start, and it was great hanging out with you. Now, for the last couple of months since you've been away, really quick before we jump into this show tonight, what have you been up to for the last 2 months?
Since the Conscious Life Expo, things have been extremely hectic in a really good way. So many, I thought I was going to be coming to all these different people and groups, trying to get them to come up with, ideas to come together and bring unity in the community and come up with ideas to help spread this information. Not my information, but, information about the breakaway civilizations having these suppressed technologies that could make this planet a completely different place to live for us. And it turns out that the 100th monkey effect is already occurring, and there are all these people already doing things, and all these little projects starting up, and they're coming together so organically that it makes you sit back and smile because they're meant to be. And it's been very exciting. I've been working harder than I've ever worked. Haven't been able to put as much time as I'd like into, getting some of my updates out there as I'd like. But I think when people see what is unfolding from this time period, they'll understand why. This new effort, the website just went live today. It's fulldisclosureproject.org.
And there's one other thing I wanted to ask you more on a personal level, but I think the audience will dig this, which is you were nervous, right? A couple of months ago, you were talking to me, Jimmy, I'm a little freaked out about all of this. And coming out to L.A. and where there's going to be, thousands of people there waiting for you. And now that you've gotten that over with, and I told you it was going to be just fine, how do you feel now? I mean, the reception was good, and it was a nice, positive experience for you, I'm sure. But are you okay now? Have you calmed down a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I was... after shooting all the episodes at Gaiam, I was starting to get comfortable in front of the camera, finally. But, we were shooting 12 to 20 episodes in a week. So it was, it was work. But, for the first time being in front of crowds of people, being introverted as I am, it was very intimidating, and I had a lot of intrepidation going in. But just like you told me beforehand, the people were great. There was such beautiful, loving energy from people there. It was a great experience. I was very pleased. It took me a few days to recover.
Yeah, I know. You looked also, I'll say that you looked relieved. That was the other thing. I mean, I think when you go into anything like that, and it's kind of like, if you're a guitar player, right, and you've got a big gig coming up, or it's the first show for the band or whatever, you're freaked out. And then all of a sudden the show ends, and you go, wow, okay, all right. It wasn't that bad. It was actually pretty, you know what I mean? And that's a big part of it. But
we're our own worst critics.
Exactly right. That's exactly right. All right. Now that we've kind of settled down a little bit, let's do this. Let's kind of start here. The everything kicked off for you at a very, very, very young age. And let's do an abbreviated version of your early years and how things actually started with the SSP in my lab. For the audience that may have not heard it before, they've probably read it, but they've never heard you speak about it. So let's kind of start there.
Okay, I'll give a real quick summary. At around the age of 6, they started introducing some standardized type testing in the elementary school I was going to. And the standardized testing, was your normal standardized testing to make sure, children were learning certain subject matter at a certain age. But it was also designed to sort of weed out and identify individuals as anomalies to be followed up on by people coming out and doing other tests. And that's what occurred with me. I popped up as an anomaly somehow. They came out and did one-on-one testing with me. Everything from, written tests, Rorschach kind of tests, tests actually asking me to guess what were on cards, squiggly lines, stars, those kind of weird little tests. And then they asked the school, through the school, they asked my parents' permission for me to go into this program where I was going to be taken off campus on occasion and taken for field trips and extracurricular kind of things. That's how it was supposed to begin. And so the vans would come and pick me and other children up, and they were taking us to places like Carswell Air Force Base and other places like, not really malls, but commercial real estate that was closed down or in transition. They would take us there to do, training or different types of operations when, we were children.
How many other kids were with you throughout that period?
Well, and it dwindled down. In the beginning, there was, I don't know the exact number. It was, around 100 in my area that was in my age group. And as people, as they either washed out or, they didn't make the grade or,
for whatever reason,
they were rejected for whatever reason.
Right.
Or as people were identified for different abilities and qualities were identified in them, they were brought off into slightly different programs, and so the group started getting smaller and segmented as we got older.
Are you still in contact with any of those kids today?
No.
And when did that, we don't have to spend a lot of time on this, I'm just curious, when did you start to lose contact with them? I mean, I guess what I'm saying is, did it just dwindle down to just like a couple, you and a couple of others?
Yeah, by the time I had graduated high school, there was only one other kid in the area that I occasionally saw. And at that point, he was then going to a different high school.
And are you still in contact with him?
No.
Okay. And have you ever spoken about what high school you went to in Texas?
No, I haven't. I transferred around the area quite a bit, so I went to a number of junior highs and high schools in the area. But I ended up graduating from Richardson High School.
Okay, gotcha. And so by the time you're at Richardson now, that's 10, 11, 12 years have gone by, and you were in that program all the way through, obviously graduating high school.
Right. Well, yes. At the 17-year-old mark, when I was returned, after that point, I was mainly they were mainly observing me, and then pulling me in on very rare occasions for certain things that were needed, but I was out at that point.
I got you. Yeah, that just must have been really interesting. And what did, again, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. We have way too much to talk about tonight. But what did your friends and family say about, you coming and going and, just disappearing? And what were you telling your friends at the time that you were up to?
Yeah, my friends were the ones really making the comments. They didn't understand why I was never at school.
Right.
And why, I was, I wasn't making the best grades, but, I was continuing to be, I guess, socially promoted to the next grade, but, I was never at school. And, the kids were asking me, what's going on? When I was, at any, like when I'd go to a different junior high, we'd transfer to a different junior high, they would have to end up setting that up for me, setting up a situation. So sometimes I would be in like a STAR kind of program to where the teachers were talking above my head, in the curriculum. And then I'd go to another one and they wouldn't know what to do with me. And they would stick me in a class to where like kids were sitting there doing doodles on paper all day.
Yeah.
And, it was just very disjointed. And, the school system, I don't think really knew what to do with me a lot.
Do the school system have any idea about what you were up to and why you weren't in school? Were the teachers, or was there just...
They had fronts going on, but I mean, there on some levels, there had to be, someone always has to know in an organization. There always has to be somebody that knows in an organization that's working with intelligence groups.
Right.
There's always somebody that knows.
Let's jump ahead a little bit. I wanted to ask you about what has been going on with Hillary and Podesta and Jimmy Kimmel and Obama and all of this talk about ET lately. Do you have any information on that and why suddenly this is the subject of conversation out there with the masses?
Yeah, there's a major negotiation going on right now between these, what we loosely call the cabal groups, but they're these Earth government syndicates that have been running the Western, I guess everything, the military industrial complex, the finances, everything, for some time, and have had this 100-year Federal Reserve thing going. This group is finally losing their grasp on power, and these Earth Alliance groups that are called by all these different names are now negotiating from a place of power, and what's being decided is exactly how much information is going to be disclosed. What we're seeing with little snippets of Hillary, Obama, making little comments about ETs. This is all little drips of this partial disclosure that they're giving us. And we're hearing more and more that the alliance is beginning to believe that a partial disclosure is not going to be possible. There's too much out there. Once people get a little bit of the information and they see the rest of the information, there's just going to be too many questions.
Are you part of this decision process?
I absolutely am not.
And how? This is what's frustrating for me, because I feel what you are talking about, right? Because I witness it. I feel it. Why is it getting out of control, and why are they forcing themselves now to dip into this disclosure, which seems to be picking up at a pretty rapid clip?
Well, there are a number of groups in the Earth Alliance that have stated, you do the disclosure or we're going to do the disclosure.
Right.
But the whole thing is, when it comes to the disclosure, they don't want to let the whole genie out of the bottle, because along with all of these years of them keeping the secret, in order to keep the secret, they had to commit a lot of crimes. And there's a lot of information about contrived wars and manipulated coups and all kinds of other stuff that they would rather not come out. Some nice stuff that would make them look good, like, some, free energy.
Curing of diseases.
Yeah, some stuff like that
right.
would, kind of make them look heroish. They're kind of behind, but a lot of them are not behind the full disclosure narrative. They're behind, giving us a good chunk of it to chew on for a while, and once we've swallowed those pills, then give us another round of pills to take.
Yeah, that's interesting, because it's one thing to digest an alien presence, right, and to disclose that and put that on the world. Although we could handle it, I don't have issues with that. But it's a whole nother thing to come forward and say that all of history has been manipulated because of us and different dark organizations that have been running in the background. All of your fears are actually true. That could run us into insanity.
Absolutely. And, and how will we feel as a collective when we find out that, 0.01% of the population has manipulated us through this money magic debt slave system, and also by, our small differences, leveraging those against each other. Ridiculous things like the color of our skin, the color of our upholstery. I mean, the differences in, religious beliefs, and, those little types of things are what they use to keep us, fighting amongst ourselves and distracted, while this small little percentage, leads us around by the nose. And if we start to come together and put aside all of these differences, their power is gone immediately.
With when it comes to money and understanding money, when we talk about the alliance that is out there and the dark and the positive side of those alliances that are pushing and pulling, do the alien, the dark side of do they understand what money is? Do they deal with that in their own society? And you know what I mean? How do they understand how we manipulate each other down here in such a bad way? Where does that understanding come from?
Well, money is an ancient concept, but it's not necessarily something that was natural, to humanity. People try to say, without the financial system, what we do, the population was smaller, but back in antiquity, before money, we bartered, we lived as a community. What has money done to that? It has, caused people to be more in competition with each other instead of living in harmony with each other. It has brought out greed. It has brought out all of the negative things. So, that it reeks of a tool of destruction to me. It doesn't sound like something that was just naturally developed. It sounds like something that was inserted into, our collective consciousness and society as a way to manage us.
I spoke at the very beginning of the show. I don't know if you heard it, but I was talking about, the missing trillions of dollars, every fiscal year. And it's a frightening thing. But when you and other whistleblowers are talking about these massive, gnarly, insanely huge, expensive programs that are going on and how they are getting funded, and I speak about this kind of missing money and how budgets are done, then it starts to become a little bit more clear. When you look at the secret space program and breakaway civilizations and the possibility of this going on, what kind of money do you think is being spent in the background on these budgets? Do you have any idea?
The number, money, and all that, it's so arbitrary. I mean, we've got, you hear of the dark web. There's also like a dark financial system. There's two financial systems. So there's a whole other financial system that we're, completely, most of us are completely unaware of. And all of these are ones and zeros anyway. But I hear what you're saying. Where is it all going? Where are all these ones and zeros going? Well, once you get it's in the money, we're gonna talk about trickle up economics instead of trickle down, I guess, since we're going into space. The money goes up through the bureaucracies and through all the corruption there, and gets fleeced, and what's left gets pumped into these unacknowledged programs or special access programs. And another source of the income is through the drug trade. Now, these a lot of this money goes into the intelligence and lower secret space program programs. Some of these more advanced programs are pretty much self-sufficient at this point. They are a completely broken away civilization that do not rely on us for money or any type of operational support.
Let me jump in right there. Let's take a quick break. That's a good spot to take a break. Let's do that right now. Our guest tonight is Corey Goode, Secret Space Program and Breakaway Civilizations Week here on Fade to Black. When we come back, we're going to start. We've got a lot to cover. We're going to start with the Breakaway Civilizations, what they are, what his participation was, and we're going to talk about that lost money. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. I'll be right back.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
The station that talks the net. KGRA Radio.
Hello, I'm Katie, and you're listening to my main man, Jimmy Church, on jimmychurchradio.com.
Hi, this is Ray Hobbs here, repping the planet, and you're listening to my good friend, Jimmy Church, Fade to Black, on the Game Changer Network and the KGRA Digital Broadcast Station.
Hey folks, Life Change Tea here, reminding you that colds and flus suck. Feeling lousy sucks, and allergies really can be annoying. What if you could change that? What if you could drink something that changed the sick and tired scenario? Well, you can change how you feel with a little help from Life Change Tea. Life Change Tea is a drink you make, you control, and you drink. There are 8 organic herbs that blend together and give you what you need to fight the flus and colds of this world. Less sickness is more relief. Life Change Tea can help with high blood pressure, constipation, high cholesterol, and much, much more just by drinking the tea. Read the numerous testimonies at getthetea.com. If you're tired of feeling lousy, order right now at getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. Or you can call us at 928-308-0408. That's 928-308-0408. If you've heard this commercial more than once and someone's trying to tell you something, it's time to get well. GetTheTea.com.
Imagine no longer being tied down to your computer, but having the freedom to take live talk radio with you anywhere you go. TalkStream Live introduces our first ever iPhone application. The talk shows you follow now follow you. And your iPhone is now the fastest and easiest way to stay connected to the best talk radio on the internet. Let TalkStream Live transform the way you listen to radio. Listen to live talk shows 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Mobile talk radio from TalkStream Live. Now available in the iTunes App Store.
This is Toby Kebbell. You're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com. Don't hurt me, Jimmy. I'm only little.
Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier. And this is Ari Gold. We're the Honey Brothers. Yes. We are of the Honey Brothers. Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier. And I'm Ari Gold. We're the Honey Brothers. And you're listening to Jimmy Church. The Revolution.
What's up, Fadernauts? Studio Dome loves Fade to Black and the F2B audience so much that they have put together the ultimate stereo Bluetooth system. They've done it just for you. Man, check this out. The Studio Dome SBB2 stereo system is here. It's featuring 2 Studio Boombox 2 SBB2 wireless Bluetooth speakers, packed in its own custom hardshell case. This Studio Dome system features the very latest in stereo Bluetooth technology. The 2 full-range boomboxes are in true wireless stereo. You've got to hear this. It's amazing. It's just $129, and use the promo code JCRTWS, and you'll also get free shipping. It's simple. Just go to JimmyChurchRadio.com, click on the Studio Dome banner. Go Beckley Tepe.
This is Micah Hanks of the Gralien Report, and you're listening to Jimmy Church on Fade to Black, across the globe on the Game Changer Radio Network and the one and only KGRA Radio, The Planet.
Welcome back to Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight, our guest is Corey Goode. Breakaway Civilizations and the Secret Space Program. The SphereBeingAlliance.com is the website. Yeah, hey, Corey, check this out. So at the, during the break, I went to the studio next door. And if you log into our website, it says immediately DDoS service. Denial of service attack, and so it's checking everybody's browsers to see if you are legit before you can log back into the website. Awesome. That's what I'm talking about, man. We thwarted a DDoS attack at the top of the hour. And
cool. Yeah, I see that. I'm looking right now.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, isn't that cool?
That's smart.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Yeah. A lot of people are tuned in to what you are saying tonight, and I think that is very important. So totally cool. Yep, we will fight the powers. That's what we're gonna do, man. They don't want us to speak, but they didn't get past us, man.
We're just getting started.
Yeah, we're just getting started. And we today we had all hands on deck, man. All of our technical people, everybody was on board, and we knew that this was going to happen, and it did, but it didn't work. And that's the truth. Okay, so let's talk about let's go with the Breakaway Civilization part of this evening first.
Sure.
And the original documentary that the BBC put out, Alternative 3, and the idea of a breakaway civilization. The possibility, I look at that as being a serious disinfo project, that they put that out there, that information is there. But a breakaway civilization now is something that is not only talked about now, but is something that is being taken, very seriously, not only through the alternative circles, but the scientific community as well. So what is your definition of a breakaway civilization?
A breakaway civilization is a civilization that has become so self-sufficient or has broken away so completely from the another civilization, that it's its own entity now. Like they would not be a group that broke away would not have any loyalties to the United States or to Russia or to the EU. They are a entity that is both global in how it is directed, but it is completely off planet in infrastructure, such as pulling materials from asteroids and other planets, and taking those materials and converting them into usable raw materials that, like we have down here. And then they have, people that process those materials and produce goods and services. And these are people that are living on bases on another planet within our solar system. And will most likely live out their entire lifetime doing that type of work on said base or colony.
Is there going to be a situation where, there's something going on Mars? We know that. There's something going on our own moon. We know that. And suddenly we're going to have this miracle of construction, and a base that was already there. They are going to say that we just built it, or you know what I mean? Is that how?
What they're trying to get us ready to start sliding. You're seeing all these Lockheed Martin commercials all of a sudden, and Boeing commercials about the space age technology, and they don't need to advertise to the public. We don't buy their goods and services. They're bought through, locked in contracts. They need to advertise for PR for people to invest some, but, this is obviously one part of this campaign they have to slowly release the existence of the lower secret space program, which, at first we will hear about, some very advanced, maybe 50 to 100 years to us, more advanced shuttle type craft that service some, let's say maybe one or two advanced military intelligence space stations that have been floating around up there for a while.
Right.
And that'll be, our first introduction, possibly.
Are you prepared to discuss? We're going to discuss some new information now, but do you have any information right now that pertains directly to that? Do you have any information about current contact with a space station that we have out there that isn't the ISS?
Yes. Yeah, there are a couple of space stations out there that the DIA and NSA and a few other three-letter agencies and military assets, secret access programs are doing things on, and they're not super advanced. They're more advanced than the ISS for certain. 50, 100 years. But they have, lower space program things going on all the time that are, on a lower level. They're not as exotic in technology, I guess you could say.
With and touching upon that is Gary McKinnon, of course, and his accidental, backing his truck over his information that he found on our servers over here with NASA. It was that information that you were able to corroborate, and was he talking about the exact same thing, or what he was, and as a IT professional, what he was able to do with a homemade desktop computer and a modem,
should scare the living snot out of just about anybody. I mean, but we're in a different world now. But what he was able to access is amazing. And those, I think a lot of what he was accessing was information from, the beginning of, one of the more advanced parts of the naval and the naval military intelligence secret space program.
It was interesting for me with Gary when he spoke about how he was able to do that in a very simple way. People don't change their passwords, right? And that,
or they use the
admin,
the default admin password,
right? And that's all he was looking for, right?
Back when NT used to roll out Microsoft NT, it would come out with the same password, and people. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah,
I can't. But he exploited it, and if he hadn't have done that, he paid heavily for it. But if he hadn't have done that, there's all of this a lot of this information wouldn't have made it into our consciousness, or at least not as soon.
Yeah, exactly. And so for you, when you started to hear about Gary McKinnon and some of the things that he was talking about, did you start to cross-check your own personal experiences and what you knew to see if...
Absolutely. When there's a couple times I thought, okay, it's coming out now, and it didn't happen, and I've seen there were certain witnesses that I saw interviewed, I won't name, but I knew that they were walking right up to the line and stopping. They knew a lot more, and they could be saying a lot of the stuff that I am, but they were walking right up to the line, dancing around on the other side a little bit, and then stepping back and then disappearing.
Why do you think that was? Were they being silenced?
Yeah, there's always, all it takes is for someone to, not just threaten someone you love, but, really put you in some of these situations before you realize how you'll react. Some of the people that are the most docile, laid back, you really cannot predict how a person's going to react when you start threatening their loved ones.
Yeah, exactly. You can't. And which goes back to the breakaway civilization. You have all of that with every single family member, with somebody that is indoctrinated or becoming a part of the breakaway civilization. Mm-hmm. Do you have any idea how large the breakaway civilization is today?
I've heard many estimates, and there's a new whistleblower that came forward. I think his name's Bill Tompkins.
Yep.
He's been talking with Dr. Michael Sala. And I think his first video interview is going to be coming out tomorrow on exopolitics.org. But he discussed just the amount of people that went down to secret bases in Argentina and Antarctica being, I believe in between 5 and 7 million. And that's, that number that disappeared to go down there is incredible, but I can't even remember the number of people that disappeared during the brain drain. And those people were the ones that were brought to, that really, were brought to Plymouth Rock and started, these colonies. And, I haven't heard all of the history of the colonies. I hope there weren't any Jamestown kind of horror stories.
Right.
But, they were the ones that really, got a lot of this going. But they haven't stopped recruiting. They still approach people and, present them what I call the Jetsons package, showing them all of this deceptive information about how they will live and how they'll be, leaving, them and their family will be leaving the planet, but they'll be saving this planet. And, then they leave and they arrive at their destination and they have a whole different reality. One of in most cases, one of slavery.
With the brain drain that happened, and if we look back to historical fact, and I'm talking about the stopping of Apollo, our space program, the one that we know about, completely going sideways. We allegedly had made all of this progress, and here today we are still dropping our space capsules in the ocean, right?
Well, it's as ridiculous a notion as we are driving around cars and flying in planes that were designed basically, in the early 1900s, with only material science changing around a little bit around them. It's a totally ridiculous notion to think that in the last 100 years, we haven't come further than that.
And I spoke about that a couple of weeks ago. I was looking at the German Messerschmitt, the 162, and I was looking at that and I was like, planes have not changed at all, right? They just have not changed at all. The designs that were done in World War II are exactly what we're flying today. They're bigger, they're faster, they're more efficient, but they're the exact same design.
Yeah,
we have not taken a step forward. And is that because the brain drain, the all of the uber intelligence is somewhere else now, and it is not here working for us?
No, absolutely not. We have such wonderful talent and beautiful and beautifully intelligent minds right here now to source. But the problem is the information that these beautiful minds are receiving is, the physics, the suppressed knowledge, the suppressed physics models that could unify a lot of these different fields and theoretical physics and have them applying it immediately. This is just knowledge that's being suppressed. We haven't even gotten to the technology yet. The technology, they say, the big thing they say that we talked about earlier, they say, we can't handle, disclosure. Well, the fact is, I heard Laura Eisenhower say, we've handled all of their wars. We've handled all of the disease. We've handled all of this other stuff. We can handle the truth. But, it's definitely time that we demand it. And I'm sorry if I got off of the exact topic of
No, you're exactly right. And it's just fascinating to me when I look back because when I talk about the things that are obvious, and one of them is when in 1970, we were dreaming of moon bases and a Hilton hotel, in a orbiting space station and an elevator to space and all of these, huge, fantastical dreams that we were supposed to fulfill. And none of it happened. And today they want us to think that we're not doing anything. That we're not going to go to Mars until 2030, maybe. We might go back to the moon. We haven't done anything since 1972, 73, 74. And
I tell you, the signs, though, are encouraging. When you see the Rockefellers and other groups getting out of energy commodities, selling, getting out of oil and coal and all these other things at a record pace, it makes you wonder why they don't want to be involved in, why they're getting their money out of these old energy technologies. Maybe they know something. Maybe they know that some new energy technologies are about to unroll. People see a lot of signs that give them fear and intrepidation, but there's a lot of signs out there to encourage us, around the world right now, looking at the elections now, we see, a lot of, people that we may not want to vote in, but the movement out there, like the movement behind Bernie Sanders and Trump, regardless of what we think of the individuals that are being voted for or who are running. It's the movement that's important. There are so many people that are tired of the establishment and are tired of the corruption that, there's a movement on both sides. And we see what's going on in Brazil and across the world. People are standing up and unifying against corruption. And, that's a wave that I think is going to continue. And 2016 could be seen as the year of the beginning of revolution. And I'm not talking violent revolution, but a revolution in spirit of the people against, all of this free-range slavery that, we've been living through, and we're finally going to stand up.
One of the things that you and I and David and a few others have been talking about over the last few months is we need to all get along, right? Our little circle of friends here, that infighting and separation is not the way to move forward. And you are certainly you're spearheading that, and I commend you for that. But with the Blue Avions, are they influencing that kind of decision making and that kind of mindset? And have you been in communication with them about exactly what your intentions are right now with the launch of the website and so forth?
Yes. And I have been in contact with them about it, and they've made it clear that they are working together with our collective consciousness, as our collective consciousness is making a decision of how it's going to move forward during this time of change. They're not here, stopping things or doing things. They're working in concert with our collective consciousness and with the laws of the cosmos, which we've been kept totally ignorant of. Now, this is something that this project is, related to, because this project has to do with, we're about to start ad campaigns, guerrilla marketing campaigns, not towards our own community that's already awake, but towards the masses that are out there that, still have the giggle factor programmed if they hear anything alien or UFO. So, we need to come together, because we need people like your next two guests that are coming that hold on to the nuts and bolts kind of information, interview people that have credentialed information. Those are the kind of people we're going to need to present. That's kind of information we're going to need to present to the mainstream people in the beginning. If we come to them with all these different ideologies that we have, it's just not going to go well. They're going to have to go through the same process that we did of waking up, and we're going to have to let them wake up on their own at their own pace. But also we need to realize that if we do a project like this and present nuts and bolts information to the public, that it will start bringing the public to all of our information eventually. So, we all have something to gain in it. And what we have to gain is putting aside our differences that keep us at each other's throats and focus on what we all want, which is the truth, which none of us have an embargo on, and none of us, can say we fully know.
Yeah, exactly. And as a delegate or the delegate that is interfacing with these the federations and the councils, how do you have? And I'm not making light of this, Corey. Just go with me. Do you have an agenda when you sit down for these discussions? Do you take notes and minutes of the meeting, and do you guys present an agenda and then an execution list? Not an execution list, but a to-do list, and organize in that fashion. Take me through that. How does that work?
Well, it depends on how much the SSP Alliance Council's involved. That's how they like to do things. They like to have everything planned out and oriented in that way. When I'm appearing in a location to do interfacing on behalf of the Sphere Being Alliance or the Blue Avians, in almost every occasion, they have put me on the spot with little to zero preparation. And so I go in knowing very little about what I'm walking into. And the information is provided to me as I'm interfacing.
Are you on a first name basis with everybody?
With everybody
in the Federation and the councils, is it the same?
Oh, no. No, not on a first name basis. This is, I have never gotten to converse with any of those beings on really any type of real level. I mean, it's always been just, I mean, like, let's say you're an interpreter that's working at the UN and you're interpreting something for someone. You get to talk to someone famous, but you're just interpreting for another person. You don't get to have an in-depth conversation about, what's how many children do you have? Where do you live?
Right.
It's not a conversation.
Yes.
That's why the conversation I had with Kari from the Anshar group had such a big impact on me, because it was the first being that I had been able to sit there and have a conversation like that with.
And I actually want to talk about that right after the break, because, what I'm imagining is when I think of Congress or the Senate right here, the House of Representatives, there may be 500, 400, 250, whatever, 100, but they all know each other. They come in, they sit down, hey, Bob, hey, Bill, and it's a day of work. They may not like each other, but they're there around each other all the time. They may not know or be friends with anybody, but they still see the same people all the time. And that's what I was referencing to you. When you get there, is it always the same group? And let's talk about that right after the break. That's what I was referring to. And I just, I find it interesting for everybody to kind of understand exactly what is going down at one of these council or federation meetings. This is Fade to Black. Our guest tonight is Corey Goode, the secret space program, breakaway civilizations, and breaking information. More with Corey right after this break. Stay right there.
Way out here, we listen to Jimmy Church.
You're listening to Fade to Black.
Always on the edge of the hottest alternative talk. Jimmy Church with Fade to Black. KGRARadio.com.
¿Qué tal, mis amigos? Yo soy Mario Carson, el tiburón, y los invito para que escuchen a mi buen amigo Jimmy Church Radio. ¡Claro que sí!
Not being able to fall asleep is so frustrating. The tossing, the turning, the adjustment of pillows and blankets. Eventually you just decide to get up and start your day really early. It doesn't have to be this way though. Power Sleep is an all-natural non-prescription formula that will help you sleep like a baby. It contains neurotransmitter nutrients that promote the production of serotonin, which is responsible for feelings of well-being. Power Sleep is easy to digest and absorb and is made in a base of active probiotics. Don't miss another night of sleep. Order your Power Sleep at EnergyWave.com or call 800-TURTLE-5. Add Power Vites to your cart while you're browsing. Perfect for Monday mornings. They're a complete multivitamin and mineral formula that will give you the energy you need to get through your day. Nourish your immune system and feel great. Get all the info and place your order at EnergyWave.com. Enter code word SLEEP to get free shipping. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Did you ever turn to your radio for your favorite talk show to find that it's been preempted for this?
In the air to deep right center. Back goes Lewis to the wall, and it's out of here!
Or this?
And I'm ashamed of you, Hillary, for voting for it.
Do you have a favorite talk radio program that's not available in your city? Just go to TalkStreamLive.com for links to the best streaming talk radio shows. At TalkStream Live, you will find live talk shows 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. All your favorites are here. With such a large selection, you will also discover some new favorites. On the go and still want to listen? With a mobile smartphone, simply type TalkStream Live on your internet browser. Now you can take internet radio with you. You will also find hundreds of music, news, and sports streams. Best of all, the TalkStream Live directory is free and there's never a login required. Remember TalkStreamLive.com, the fastest route between you and your favorite talk radio show.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Oi, oi, I'm Reese Evans. You're listening to Jimmy Church. This is Revolution. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution is on radio. Ciao.
Back to Fade to Black. Our guest tonight, Corey Goode. Tomorrow night, Joseph P. Farrell. And then on Wednesday, Richard Dolan. All part of our Breakaway Civilizations Secret Space Program Week. Very important subject. And Corey, what I was trying to get to is just trying to get a sense of when you are sitting as a delegate, do you see the same faces every day? Or is it kind of interchanged and you're seeing and meeting with and conversing with different people, different species and faces?
Well, at the Super Federation, yeah, it's usually all the usual suspects. And now it could vary. Sometimes there would be around 40 participants and upwards of 60. But in recent meetings, which was, I guess, it was a fairly important one, it was standing room only. So, but to answer your question, yes, these are the same faces, the same representatives that I saw when I was brought in when I was an adolescent, just into my teen years, to be an intuitive empath support role, in this intuitive empath support role, as I have seen recently.
What happened at this recent standing room only meeting? What was discussed, and when was it? I'm trying to. It was probably about. I think it was before the September meeting. I'm sorry, I'm having problems remembering exactly when that one was. That was the one when there were several ET groups that no one knew about that were in our biosphere of the Earth. That there were groups that were very high tech groups that cared nothing about humanity. We're not here to study us. They didn't care anything about us except for maybe how we were affecting our environment. But they were here to study the flora and fauna. They were under the oceans, studying life in the oceans and taking genetic samples and that kind of thing. And they ended up getting trapped here when a quarantine went in effect. And a lot of them were
stuck down here and were having kind of a hard time of it, and they wanted to get back with their operational support teams. So that was being allowed after a period of time. They were being allowed to return to their operational support teams or their groups that were in the solar system. And these were peaceful groups. They were here. They just happened to be caught stuck here doing their normal studies at the time.
What was the quarantine? That's interesting.
Yeah, that was in December of 2015 when the barrier went up around the complete outside of the solar system, and there was another quarantine barrier around the Earth for a short period of time.
Interesting. And so that's why it was standing room only. And were the other attendees alarmed because they weren't?
They were members of these. They were there on behalf of some of their members that they wanted retrieved. Or allowed to leave the biosphere of the Earth to come back into their care.
Interesting. Yeah. And I suppose that would be standing room only because they felt like it was almost a hostage, situation.
Well, kind of, so, you get, if you have, let's say you have Greenpeace people caught behind, a border, behind some borders when a coup happens or something like that, it becomes very hard to get your people out. And I guess that's the closest analogy that I could put to what these people were going through.
And let's discuss the secret space program really quick. We kind of touched upon this earlier. But the breakaway civilization aspect of things, I consider one part of it. Then we have the secret space program, which is the other half. Do you have any idea how many people are involved in the secret space program, and how can they pull it off and keep it secret? I mean, I have my ideas.
Well, they say it's impossible for the government to keep secrets, but that's a major misnomer. The government can't keep secrets when someone in the government has something to gain from that secret leaking. When it comes to keeping this secret, this is seen as a secret that will collapse their entire regime. This is not a secret that will send someone to prison, end a career, damage a reputation. This is a secret that will end the need for large pharmaceutical companies and large energy oil companies. And what are the largest companies in the world again?
Well, you have ExxonMobil is the largest oil company.
Yeah,
you have Apple.
And the pharmaceutical companies are some of the most powerful.
Right.
And so that's just one little part of it. And then again, there's all these crimes against humanity that have been created for them to perpetrate this fraud and to keep this massive secret. So it's kind of like someone begins to lie to their spouse about something, and then they have to lie about why they lied about to their spouse. And then, eventually it's, they're too invested in the lie. And these people are not only invested in the lie and what they've had to do to keep the lie, but they truly, they're zealots. They believe in what they're doing. They believe, many of these people believe truly that their bloodline comes from another planet in our solar system. They migrated here a long time ago. Their lineage took over this planet when it moved here, and they rightfully should run it. And they raise their children in a certain tradition, and it's those are hard things to overcome.
When we talk about the not only my lab, but when we talk about a secret space program that the Navy is running, or the Marines, and we're doing these off-planet expeditions, are we armed? And because there are references of battles that have gone on Mars and so forth. Is this something where we are armed? And if we are, what is it that we are fighting? And why would we need to be armed?
Yes, we're absolutely armed. And we need to, the current state out there, the reason they say we need to be armed is that we have to not only protect the planet from invasion, but also protect the planet from pretty much snatch and grab kind of groups that come through, traveling through the cosmic web through portal system, that go through this area. There are some group, non-terrestrial groups that pop in here every once in a while, fly down to the Earth, snag a couple humans and couple other, genetic samples that they desire, and then they take off and they leave. And, the secret space program monitors, I guess you say the airspace, monitoring for friend or foe signals when craft come in and out, or, when they hail a craft, they want to see a craft's behavior. There's.
Well, let me jump in, because that's interesting. Have we been shot at, and are there some of these aliens armed with bad intentions? Have we been shot at? Have we lost personnel? Have we had somebody that was killed in the line of duty?
Absolutely, yes. They've lost many people in not only just accidents that happen out there, but in armed conflict on the surface of bodies out there, and also in craft and vessels.
With let's talk about planet Earth for a second. Underground facilities and underground civilizations, alien, off planet and on. Where does this occur? And what about Dulce?
Well, I've been asked a lot about Dulce, and when I was in the programs looking at the smart glass pads, I never saw any information on the Dulce bases. And as I've said, that does not mean that none of that didn't exist. It just means that I saw all kinds of information on underground bases, but I never saw any information on that particular one.
Okay. And you and I were talking earlier today about some underground stuff going on right now. Let's talk about that. What were you referring to?
There's, been a few things I was going to release from a recent briefing I had, and some of it's actually come out in a few other people's reports. One of them being that, I've been reporting for nearly a year that a lot of shipping containers and all kinds of materials have been shipped down to Brazil and Argentina, and it's been going down into the ground there, into some very sophisticated bases. But I was given some interesting information regarding, that these bases that people are going into, like an ant colony, that it's a part of a natural underground network that has been, excavated and re-engineered, that goes along some fissures or are a part of the West Antarctic Rift, and that they have run silent submarines, black submarines that are several different sizes but are electromagnetically propulsed under the water underneath some of these areas, and some of these areas have trams or trains that go under them in between South America and Antarctica, and that there's been a lot of activity and a lot of material moved down there by more of these, some of these groups that we would call Nazi-esque cabal-type groups.
Why Antarctica?
Well, Antarctica, there's several reasons. Antarctica, there were some ready-made cities that were there from ancient times. There are a lot of resources that they can pull out of the ground there, and there are geothermal areas that they can use for thermal energy. And under the ice, there's a lot of the area there are what used to be some shallow seas. So they're able to travel under the ice a great deal. It's not as much land as you would think.
Do you have any information about the Malibu underwater base?
Yeah, in the Malibu area there is definitely a submarine base that goes to. They have. It's similar to what I just described. They enter in close to the continental shelf there. They enter in, and it goes into these giant underground cavern fissures, and they have one that pops up in a desert lake where they do some submarine training. But
China Lake? Are you referring to?
It could be. Is it Utah or
no? Well, that what you're referring
not Utah.
Nevada. You're talking
Nevada. Thank you.
Yeah. That's it's a direct line from the Malibu entrance, certainly.
And there's a lot of that goes underneath the western United States, especially huge underwater caverns.
And who between Antarctica and Chile, Argentina, and Brazil, who's occupying the tunnel system there? Is it are we interfacing with aliens, or is that our installation?
It's infrastructure that the Nazis began to build in the late 30s, early 40s. That they began to build in some ancient ruined cities that were pointed out to them by some non-terrestrial groups they began to work with. And these groups also pointed out some large cavernous areas in Argentina that ended up leading down to these deep underground fissures or rifts deep in the ground that travel all the way down to Antarctica.
You had mentioned earlier, Corey, I want to go back a little bit. You had mentioned the barriers that were put up. Who is in charge of those barriers?
And that's very difficult to say who's in charge of the barriers, because these little blue orbs we see, those are the actual sphere beings. Those are beings,
right?
And the Neptune size and the moon size spheres that are out there, well, those are also these beings. These are not craft. And so exponentially, these things go up in size. And so they're an energetic life form that is in some sort of symbiotic and karmic relationship with our mass consciousness and with everything that's going on in this local star cluster. That's just what I've been able to glean from my experience.
That's interesting. Okay, I'm just banging out a bunch of questions really quick before we get to the top of the hour. Hey, you want to take some calls?
Go for it.
Yeah, man, we should take some calls. We'll open up the phone lines after the next break, so everybody get ready for that. Why? Help me out with this, because, again, I have my own ideas here. I need you to help me make up my mind. Why would the cabals need to go underground? Are they trying to protect themselves from something? Is there something that they are worried about?
Yeah, it depends. There are so many of their different groups. They have all these different belief systems about what's going to happen at the end of an age and all this thing. Some of these groups, they're bugging out and going underground because they really believe there's going to be some sort of what they call like a kill shot sun explosion that's going to wipe out the earth, and they're going to be the only ones that are going to survive and all this other stuff. The other groups plan on, they know that they're about to lose control of the surface. They plan on trying to start World War III and set off charges that they have on some super volcanoes and just, basically tear up all the toys and, leave the play yard because they didn't get their way. So,
do you have a bunker?
I do not. No, I used to have a area that I could go to, a bug out area, but no, I no longer.
Do you care about it?
Not really. Okay. I make sure that per the instructions I was given, I think that if a person is financially able, they should have a minimum of 2 weeks of food in their home.
Do you?
I do.
Okay, just checking. I don't. Mm-hmm. I got a buttload of ramen noodles and chili without beans. I've got cases of that. And if anything goes down, my family is eating ramen noodles and chili until the
Whatever
atmosphere
keeps you out of the FEMA lines.
Yeah, it will. Until the atmosphere clears back up, we're going to be doing chili. Do the Blue Avions have the ability to listen to this show? And are they listening right now? Do they know that you and I are talking?
They seem to, because every time I've gone to deliver, I'm supposed to deliver a message, every time I go to open my mouth to deliver a message, up comes the hand and they respond and they give the answer to the message. They already know. So I can't answer your question without speculating, but I would have to say they seem pretty aware of what's going on, and I don't have to explain things to them.
Have they ever said that Jimmy Church guy, he's completely nuts?
Well, they told me I could talk with you on the phone, but I should probably, not rub shoulders with you too much. You might rub off on me.
That's why we didn't have drinks. Yeah. Well, you know what? That's really good advice, by the way. And have they told you, do you guys have an agenda in moving forward? I like the guerrilla approach that you had mentioned earlier. But
yes, actually.
But we have. Well, hold on. Let me finish
go ahead.
really quick. There's television. There's other radio. Of course, there's the internet. And there's YouTube. You know what I mean? There's all of these different avenues to feed into. Are they up on that technology? And do you guys have a game plan?
Yes, we're putting a lot of that together right now, but we're also going to be collaborating with a lot. We've got so many talented people come together. We've got all kinds of producers of documentaries, short films, musicians, people that want to come together and collaborate in a unified way that's going to make a difference. And there's some people, coming together that, it'll be pretty surprising once, we fully get all the infrastructure done here and get everything announced. It's going to be very exciting. It's already exciting to see these different projects coming together, all these different people that, there are people out there that, have financial resources that are service to others and that have always wanted to find a way to contribute, but, have been leery of, getting involved in certain things that are now starting to step forward. There are people that, that they can now be introduced with people that are doing serious documentaries on this type of subject, or maybe doing movies or animations, music, songs, all kinds of medium that can, seep into the collective consciousness of the masses and help them to not only start to wake up, but to start acclimating and getting ready for full disclosure.
Let me ask you this: one of the funniest things, I think you and I have talked about this before, but one of the funniest, most hysterical things that has been discussed lately is the flat Earth. It's hysterical, and obviously, I think I asked you one time, did you look out the window? Right. So, what do you say to those flat earthers out there?
I've tried going round and round, and when it comes down to it, we're going to believe what we want to believe. And, I'm not going to try to step on anyone else's little reality bubble, but all I can do is share from my own experience and my own perspective. And, I've flown around these little spheres and,
right. And your perspective is round.
My perspective is a spherical geometry is my perspective.
And let's just end it. Let's just stop right. I'm totally with you. It's so funny how, and you're right. You can believe what you want to believe. It's fun. It's fun. If you want to have that fantasy, okay, fine. But there's no proof of anything being flat. But if you want to go there and live in that fantasy, go ahead. It's fine. Yeah. It doesn't offend me.
You get to about 160,000 feet. You have to get pretty far up to start really seeing the curvature of the Earth.
Yeah, and the other thing is this, though, and we're going to hit a break, and when we come back, we're going to grab some phone calls. Is this, even if it is flat or if it's round, it doesn't change a dang thing. Nothing changes. We still live and breathe, and we still go to work.
Sounds like one of those mental exercises.
That's exactly right. Our guest tonight, Corey Goode. This is Fade to Black. We'll be right back. Taking calls.
Hi, everybody. This is Rob Halford, the Metal God, on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
KGRA Radio. Intelligent talk.
If your home has hard water and it's leaving white spots, then it's likely that limescale is clogging your pipes. Limescale can cost hundreds of dollars a year in wasted energy and early appliance breakdown. HydroCare systems available at Wave Home Solutions prevent and remove limescale with just a simple filter change every 3 years. There are no salts, chemicals, or magnetic coils. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, just go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
If you're a talk radio fan, AccessRadio.net lets you listen to the best talk shows anytime and from anywhere. Works on your mobile or landline phone, and there's no cost if you have unlimited minutes. No need to use your data. Find your favorite talk show listen lines and discover new ones. Now you can listen on your schedule. Go to AccessRadio.net. That's AccessRadio.net. Save your favorite listen lines today.
Hi, I'm Richard Dolan. When I'm not hosting my radio program, The Richard Dolan Show on KGRA, or writing new books on UFOs, I run a publishing company. I'm proud to say that Richard Dolan Press has published some of the most fascinating books available on UFOs and related subjects. They include Dr. Bruce Maccabee's classic analysis of the UFO cover-up, David Marler's breakthrough book on triangular UFOs, Dr. Richard Sauter's unique work on underground bases, and other classics by Grant Cameron, Chase Kletsky, and Dr. Bob Wood, not to mention intriguing works by Eve Lorgan and Laurie MacDonald that deal with truly bizarre phenomena. I'm proud to publish such high-quality and original works, and there are several amazing books about to be released over the next few months. Go to richarddolanpress.com to learn more.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi available, you can still listen to every minute of Fade to Black by just calling 605-562-4482. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and no extra cost if you have unlimited minutes. Just call 605-562-4482. You can listen to me, Jimmy Church, on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Go Beckley Tappy.
You want to know a secret? I love ponies. I really love ponies. I'm serious. I couldn't stay sane without ponies to brush.
Why fade to black? Because you never got that pony, damn it.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
All right, welcome back to Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Network and KGRA, the planet. Phone lines are jammed, Spreaker chat room, all the chat rooms, Twitter, out of control, website attacks. This is just an awesome evening, Corey. Thank you for all of that. Let's go straight to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black.
Hello, Jimmy. How are you?
I'm doing good. What's your question for Corey?
Okay, this is Captain. Corey, you have been one of my favorites, and I just want to tell you this. Kudos, brother, because you're doing it. And all that you say is absolutely true. And I do want to say this. What do you know about President Obama, his protection in the White House, and what off-world being protected him?
Thank you for the call, Captain. Excellent questions. Thank you so much, and I'm going to keep rolling through these. Thank you so much, Captain.
Sure, thank you. Yes, I do not know of any beings that Obama is in contact with or any information about Obama's past in any of these MyLab or space programs. I have not seen any of that information myself. I would definitely intuitively hit from some of his Jimmy Kimmel and other comments that he has had a briefing. I don't know how, I don't know on what level he is.
All right, there you go. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. What do you have for Corey Goode?
Hi, Jimmy. It's Allison, and hi, Corey.
Hi.
Hi. I have just it's kind of a personal question, and you don't have to answer it if you don't want to, but I wondered, since they extended your abilities when you were a kid, how it is being out in the real world, and did these abilities bug you, give you problems like at the grocery store, or you know how it is when you're extra sensitive? I was just curious about that aspect, if that bothered you or affected you, or they gave you training, or if you remembered you had them.
Great question, Allison, and thank you for the phone call.
Yes,
thank you.
actually,
and Corey.
Yes.
Wonderful. I'm going to take my answer off the air. Dude, you just rock. You really do. Thank you.
Thank you, Allison. Corey, did you get super duper powers, and could you control them?
Well, Well, in the program, we were being genetically enhanced. So we were being given chemicals that genetically enhanced our abilities. But, once you use a muscle, even if that muscle atrophies, you still have some muscle memory. You still know how to use that muscle, and you've still developed that ability. And yes, very much. It's being in large crowds or being around a lot of people is difficult because most people don't realize that when you interface with people, it's a bidirectional communication, and most people are constantly broadcasting. They're broadcasting their energy of frustration or anxiety or whatever they're feeling. They're constantly broadcasting it. And if you're an antenna, you're picking up very mixed and confusing signals from all the people around you, and it can be very disconcerting. So that's
that's a great point. Let me ask you about something. Me personally, you have always been open to coming on this show. And is it because of me? Did you? And I'm not saying this from an ego standpoint, but did you have a vibe that it was going to be okay to come on here and take your clothes off?
Yeah. Stripping down, I guess. Yeah. On your show is no big deal. Yeah, I liked the energy and when I first talked to you, there was some controversy going on, and you showed that you're kind of a person that doesn't get in the middle of things, and you stay objective, and the things you've said, you're real big into unity and positive stuff. So I've gotten positive vibes. So yeah, why wouldn't I come back?
There you go. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. What do you have for Corey Goode?
Hi, Jimmy. Hi, Corey. How you doing?
Hello.
This is Brian down in Florida. My question is, during your 20 and back, were you in a different timeline during that? Because I know that you said there was like a 6-minute window where you were actually gone from when they put you back. And my question is, if you weren't in a different timeline, does that mean that you were in like 2 different places at the same time up until 2007? And if you were in a different timeline, could there possibly have been changes in that timeline to what happened on Earth, considering that you and, thousands of other people were gone on Earth and, possible changes could have happened?
Yeah, what's your name?
Brian.
Hey, Brian, that's a great question. I've asked Corey this before, so he's probably a year ago, but it's a great question, and I think it should be addressed. Thank you so much for the phone call, Brian.
Thank you.
Okay, Corey, yeah, how did that work?
Yeah, and the way I understand it is that I basically did exist in 2 places at the same time for a period. There was some sort of bifurcation or that existed, and it seems to violate all the laws of physics. But when you get into this new world, everything violates what you think of as the classical laws of physics that everything must abide by.
Is it because, and caller, stay right there, stay on hold. Is it because leaving the Earth in a linear fashion at a certain speed and returning back, that the time here on Earth wouldn't have passed at all, or very little of it? And or would it be the opposite of that?
Well, what most people don't understand is that if people are traveling in space and they're able to travel these great distances at with basically no time, they're also time travelers.
Exactly.
So there's really no real difference in time travel and highly advanced space travel.
All right, there you go. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. What do you have for Corey Goode?
Hello, Jimmy. Hi, Corey Goode. People tell me that you are, very connected. You have a lot of fans here. I'm a more practical guy, and what I'd like to know is, I keep hearing from various sources, disclosures coming here, disclosures coming there. You've talked a bit about it. Stephen Bassett seems to be doing the nuts and bolts of it, and Dr. Stephen Greer, too.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know, is it going to come in my lifetime? And when it does come, I see a lot of things going on Earth right now, economic inequality, and one of the things is energy. Are we going to get an energy source in my lifetime that's going to help equalize people on this Earth economically?
Thank you for the call, Dino.
And I would say that the most probable answer is yes, that it will happen in your lifetime. I don't know how old you are, but this is something that has already been decided. What they're deciding is how to roll it out. I mean, you've been keeping this secret. How do you finally, take the mask off? And they're trying to that's what right now is what they're doing. And while they're, dotting the I's and crossing the T's, they are doing what they've been doing for decades, is continue with this, the slow unwinding disclosure and conditioning of the mass consciousness, to where at any given point, if a type of disclosure is sprung on them before they can unroll it, then they can have some sort of, they can say that, we were telling you here, or we were preparing you here.
Interesting. Hi, you're live on Faded Black. What's your question for Corey Goode?
Hi, my name is Derek, and I had a question in regards to the energies that the sphere beings and the blue aliens are sort of filtering into us, and if Corey had any type of idea about when that is going to be kind of unleashed on us, more so than it already is. Does it depend on disclosure or kind of any information on that?
And your name was Derek?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Derek, for the phone call. Great question. Corey?
Yeah, this galactic high frequency change or energy that's coming into our system is I'm sorry, I got a little feedback.
Yeah, that's okay. I just brought in another phone call. They're jammed up. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Sorry, it kind of broke my train of thought there.
Yeah, it broke mine too. It was cool. It was kind of eerie, but
I'm sorry. What was the question again?
He was talking about energy from the blue avians.
Oh yes, and when is it going to be unleashed upon us?
Right.
What's happening is that we're learning more and more that we are joined by this mass consciousness, this co-creative mass consciousness, and this mass consciousness that we're all a part of is going through some sort of a process in tandem with what's going on in the cosmos to make up a decision on what sort of a timeline or how it's going to proceed. And all of us on the planet are a part of this co-creative consciousness and are contributing. So there is no set time and date to when these things are going to happen, because we're the ones that are going to make it happen through not only our co-creative consciousness and willing it to be, but getting out there and manifesting it, getting out, not sitting back on hitting the keyboards, saying, when is disclosure going to happen? When is it going to happen? But getting out there and manifesting it ourselves, getting out there and demanding it, talking about it, making it part of the public discussion.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And I'll say this as well, is the power of the internet is one thing, but also the collective mind electronically is connecting brains too as well at a subconscious level that we don't even realize. And that is
it's amazing.
It's a serious amount of juice, man. It's a serious amount of power that we are focusing. And I am not in any way getting weird. It is just the way that it is.
It's tangible. I mean, that's not a esoteric, weird thing to say anymore. I mean,
it's not.
The energy is tangible. You see it in the behavior of people all across the planet right now. I think David said Richard Hoagland coined this phrase that the good are getting better and the bad are getting worse. And I've thrown in that the crazy are getting crazier. And it's these, they don't have the ability to acclimate and handle and handle these energy changes very well. And it causes problems.
And the crazy swing a lot of juice too as well. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Say hi to Corey Goode. What's your question?
Hey, Jimmy. Hi, Corey. Sorry for eerily breaking your trains of thought there. But my name is Chris from New York. Corey, hey, man, thank you for everything you're doing. And I have a million questions, but I'll talk really fast like Laura and try to get one in. My question is this. With all of the things you're saying about, raising our vibrations, being more positive, and really trying to come together and all that stuff, and that's great. And I'm with you on that. But I still feel really powerless in this whole thing. And my biggest question is, you're on the inside, brother. Like, I really think, even though we have CGI and all this crap and we don't believe anything we see, I think that it would help for us to see something. You talk about all these amazing things, and even something as little as the smart glass pads and things like that, and these benevolent ETs, if they're saying they're waiting for us to rise up and to do that, why can't we take initiative and say, okay, well, we are, and we're asking you for help. Come and help us, man. Come and reveal yourselves. Like, we want to see this stuff. Let's get going. Let's get moving. Because I know for me, I can't wait 100 years. None of us can. I'm dying here. I cannot go without having, Jimmy,
Chris,
back me up, brother.
Yeah, you're right. And it's through the efforts, Chris, you're so right. And I know you know exactly what I'm about to say, which is it's the efforts of this show and this audience and you and Corey. That is the collective, and all we can do is do the right thing and to continue. Look, I've only got so many years left on this beautiful planet too myself. And I want to get to the end of this and be able to say that I've found some answers. And we're working on this really hard, Chris, but you're absolutely right.
Well, that's one of the number one questions I get. People they feel completely disenfranchised, disempowered. They've been led to believe that this cabal group is it cannot be defeated, and
right, that they're too strong. Right.
Yeah. The question is, what can I do? And joining meditation groups is great, but and it has a tangible effect on what happens in our reality. That is for sure. But, we're going to have to get out there and start putting some skin in the game. Now, when we say, when I say these groups are waiting for us to realize our own potential and come together, this is our reality that we're fighting for. We're wanting these beings to appear in our reality. Now, a lot of these beings have been manipulating our reality, of course, but the people that are saying, I need to see an alien so I can believe, then I can make this transition in my mind and move forward. Well, the people that are to a point that want to believe so badly that they're just to a point where I want to see an alien. Well, that's just, I couldn't even give a percentage of the people on the planet that are at that point.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Chris,
the rest of the people are they're trying to figure out how they're going to put gas in their car, or how they're going to get to the water from the river, or all of these other mundane things that are put in front of us.
Well, won't that change if they see something?
Hey, Chris, thank
people
you for
see things all the time, and
how are you?
They get ridiculed.
Hey, Chris, thank you for the phone call.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. What's your question for Corey Goode?
What's your question?
You're live right now.
Is that me?
Yes.
Please respond if this is me talking.
It is you talking. And what's your question?
Hey, Jimmy, I hope you've got a good beer buzz going on tonight. Corey, what's up, bud?
Hey, not a lot. How you doing?
Is it true, because I read the last article, is it true that you're actually in your 60s?
Well, I guess I have 20 more years experience on top of my 46 years. So that would add 20 years to my 46 years of experience. Yeah.
Oh, my God, dude. Can you freaking believe this stuff? It's happening.
Okay. All right, man. Hey, have a great night. Let's keep going on here. Hi, you're live on Faded Black. What's your question for Corey Goode?
Hey, Corey, I have a question for you.
Yes,
Do you believe that the blues are here to harm us? Is that correct? Am I understanding you right?
Do I believe the blues are here to harm us?
Yeah, am I understanding you right on that?
Who are the blues? The Blue Avians?
Yes, sir.
No, okay. They're not here to harm us. No.
Yeah, I know that. I actually.
Yeah, they're karmically tied to us. Yes.
Can I explain what happened to me one night? Me and Martin were outside watching these ships, literally lights going in and out. Within what seemed like 16 minutes, jets came and started shooting at them. There was a white light that fell down. Within 6 hours, we had at least 800 people in military gear searching our woods, our backyards, everything. I didn't go anywhere the next day, but the day after that, me and my dog went for a walk because, we always went for a walk. Her hair stood up on every inch of her body, and she whimpered like she was scared. In my mind, I heard something say, "Don't turn your dog loose. I'm not here to hurt you." Basically, it was a blue. It had fallen. It had gotten hit. Mark and I had seen them getting shot at from jets during the daytime as well. My question is, if we're supposed to be afraid of them, why aren't they shooting back? This
okay, honest
blue,
question. Why aren't they shooting back?
Well, we're not supposed to be afraid of the Blue Avians. They have never engaged these cabal groups. The only time that any retribution kind of thing has happened, they used an Aikido principle when a very high energy particle weapon was fired at one of the spheres, and it just redirected the energy right back at its source. And it caused some wide destruction on the base where the weapon was located. But no, they are not a military or offensive group by any means.
I have a question. This is from Renee. She says, members of humancolony.org have said that one of the things that positively influenced Earth's ambassadors meetings with ETs off planet in the past year was several ETs showing a sense of humor. Human colony members claim that this helped the humans to trust the ETs they were negotiating with about disclosure, because it showed our races do have something in common. Did you see and have you felt a sense of humor?
Yes, yeah. They're going to have a different sense of humor. Usually they try to emulate your sense of humor. But you're going to, like in the intercept and interrogation programs, you would get to, as an intuitive empath, when these beings were being interrogated, you would get to feel all different types of their emotions, and they have their own spectrum of emotions, just like we do, and we can't paint them as automatons that have no sense of humor or no eye for art or those types of things. That's, it's extremely limiting on such a extremely vibrant universe.
So sadness, happiness,
yes,
humor, it all comes into play.
Yes.
And how do they feel about the death that happens on planet Earth? I mean, we are so free to, cross a border and blow something up. How do they feel about that? And do they, do they have the same types of interaction amongst themselves? Do they war amongst themselves and kill each other?
Well, obviously they do at times, because there are areas in the solar system to where before they had their last, a millennia ago, before they had their last big treaty, a treaty that also involved they would no longer appear and walk among humanity. They would allow humanity to develop on their own without the gods or intervention. These groups were having open warfare up into the times of our own historical record. But that's something that has not occurred openly, at least over the skies on our planet in quite some time. But it is something that occurred here quite a bit, and there are signs throughout the solar system of different periods of conflict.
I want to get to this question here. This is somebody that can't call in, and this is from Donna. She says, I'm interested in the secret space program because of past experiences that I've have yet to reconcile. Recently met someone on Facebook who claimed they were from the NSA, and this person threatened me that if I said anything about the program, the only thing I revealed was that I have the ability to see certain events in the future, which is a gift I have had since childhood. The group I have made CE5 contact with are Arcturians. During the different groups of ETs do they communicate frequently for our safety? I'm not sure whether I am safe or not. And have you ever experienced the same thing?
The threats, or
I think both. Have you made contact with different ET groups that communicate frequently for our safety?
I've had several weird incidents. Around my house, there's been some very interesting incidents. There have been, I guess there's several groups that are very interesting in observing what's going on around right now.
Yeah, you want to hang on and take some more phone calls for a few minutes?
Go for it. Yeah,
okay,
sure.
Let's take
people have a lot of questions. I understand.
They do.
And,
they really do.
I'd like to answer some of them.
Okay, so let's take a quick break. More of your phone calls when we come back. Our guest tonight is Corey Goode. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Network and KGRA, The Planet. More of your calls with Corey right after this short break. Stay right there.
And you are listening to my boy, Jimmy Church, on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Despite popular opinion, reading a book will not make you smarter. But listening to Jimmy Church will.
Angioprim can clean blocked arteries and improve blood flow in all parts of your body. Angioprim is liquid oral chelation. It's not new science. 50 years of research has gone into chelation, and now there's Angioprim. Easy, simple, liquid oral chelation. You take it with juice before breakfast and forget about it. Angioprim works fast, unlike old-fashioned chelation that takes hours. The first thing Angioprim users say is they have more energy, more strength, more endurance. Increased circulation and blood flow will make all your body parts work better. Log on now at angioprim.com to get more information on how you can get started and start feeling better and doing more. Lots more. Talk to a trained Angioprim consultant or go to angioprim.com for help. Call Angioprim toll-free at 877-882-7221. That's Angioprim at 877-882-7221. Get the facts about Angioprim. Begin living the life you want, doing the things you used to do again with Angioprim.
What's up, Fadernauts? Studio Dome loves Fade to Black and the F2B audience so much that they have put together the ultimate stereo Bluetooth system. They've done it just for you. Man, check this out. The Studio Dome SBB2 stereo system is here. It's featuring 2 Studio Boombox 2 SBB2 wireless Bluetooth speakers, packed in its own custom hardshell case. This Studio Dome system features the very latest in stereo Bluetooth technology. The 2 full-range boomboxes are in true wireless stereo. You've got to hear this. It's amazing. It's just $129 and use the promo code JCRTWS and you'll also get free shipping. It's simple. Just go to jimmychurchradio.com, click on the Studio Dome banner. Go Beckley Tepe.
Erica, Brittany, Gabby, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
It's not a lifestyle we chose. We were born this way. KGRARadio.com.
This is KJCR at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Welcome back to Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Our guest tonight, Corey Goode. Unbelievable show tonight. Great conversation. Phone lines are lit up. We'll take some more calls here. 323-825-5045. You can get in. Good luck. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. What's your question for Corey Goode?
Hey, Jimmy. Hey, Corey. I just want to say thank you guys for having me. My name's Alex. I'm from Boston. Really out trying to spread this Fear Being Alliance word, one person at a time as best as I can. And forgive me if this has been talked about already, but I haven't heard of it. Now, I've watched all Corey's interviews, all the conference disclosure, everything. And one thing that I always was curious about that I never heard of was, it's kind of a two-parter. It's the Norway Spiral and this giant pyramid that was filmed over Russia a couple of years ago.
Okay.
I'm just curious if this is something legitimate or if this is, some more just kind of disinformation that's put out there.
All right, Alex. Thank you for the phone call and welcome to Fade to Black.
Thank you.
Have a good night. Yeah, Corey, let's address that. The spirals over Norway. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but I think it's been pretty much represented as Russian space program stuff. I just brought in a caller. Caller, if you can hear me, turn me down in the background.
Oh, you're not even on. I'm so sorry. Maybe that was somebody. Oh.
Okay. Well, hold on. Let Corey finish this question. I've got the phone lines are completely jammed. I'm just trying to squeeze in everybody one call after another. Corey, the spiral.
Yeah, both of those were technologies that were from the special access programs or some of the lower space programs down here that are doing all these different programs, but also these two incidents were not just coincidental incidents. Both of these were brinksmanship kind of incidents, to where people were rattling swords or making a statement with their technology, one side to the other.
Yeah, demonstrations. Yeah.
Yes,
and
a demonstration of power.
And we had the same thing off the coast of California. Hi, caller. Say
hi.
Say hello to Corey
Matt
Goode.
here from San Diego. I really appreciate you guys taking my call. My question for Corey is, in one of your past episodes or interviews, you talked about how there was groups of people down in the inner earth that had been reaching out to us, so to speak. And for those of us that are into the more spiritual aspects and like the meditation angle, do you recommend trying to make contact with them?
It's a very difficult question, because everyone out there has their own idea on how spiritually strong and protected they are, about how impervious they are to trickery and that kind of things. And there are a lot of different beings that are out there waiting for you to reach out. You just have to be discerning. Don't take any type of communication. Don't be just totally excited and take everything as truth. You've got to be discerning. If like I tell David, I see something new, I'm looking around for zippers and buttons and any type of deception. I'm not automatically like, oh, wow, what's this? This is new and amazing. I question it. I'm looking for deception, because I know how these groups work. So if you enter into it in that way, then you're more likely not going to be as likely to be deceived. But there are a lot of these beings out there that they're really reaching out, and they have some spiritual guidance that they would really like to give us, because they're concerned about us and the way that we're acting. But there's a lot of beings out there that want to prevent these other positive beings from doing what they're doing. So they pretend to be positive beings, and they come in and will sidetrack us on our path. So it's a tricky question, and it just depends on how much you trust your discernment, and if you're willing to go that route.
Matt, thank you for the phone call. And
awesome.
welcome.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you. Welcome to Fade to Black. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. What's your question for Corey Goode?
Hi, Corey. My name is also Corey.
Hey.
My question is about seeing orbs and the ringing in the ears and what's really going on with that. I can see lights and things when I'm looking around, and I'm wondering, what is that really? What's going on with that? Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, with orbs, a lot of times, what people see that are very sensitive spiritually, and they see orbs, it can be disembodied consciousness or that kind of a thing. It can be anything from that, and I mean there are all kinds of different of plasma kind of plasma and energetic sphere kind of experiences that people have, and they're not all exactly related. People that are having the experience, like I had an experience out when I used to hunt, I hate to say, a long time ago with a friend, to where we saw an orange self-contained orb fireball that was just kind of going up and down a corn row, just like it was searching for something. And people report seeing green orbs and, somewhat clear orbs. And I don't have the answer for all these different things, but, the blue orbs that are appearing in front of people are these higher density beings that are appearing mostly to starseeds and communicating with them either on a conscious level or on a higher self level.
Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. What's your question for Corey?
Hi, Jimmy. Hi, Corey. Yeah, my question tonight is, I didn't get to catch the beginning of the show, but I was wondering if there is currently a war going on in this galaxy between various races at this current moment in time, and if there's also a war going on over this planet. And I'll take my answer off the air.
Yeah, thank you for the phone call. Corey?
Yeah, there's definitely a struggle going on for control of this solar system and this planet. And it is the reasons are manyfold, and it has to do with our position in the galaxy, where we are to a local portal system, everything to our genetic diversity on this planet. There's all kinds of reasons why our solar system is important to these different groups. And these different groups over these oceans of time have fought over the solar system, and different groups have been, kind of kicked out and come back. And so there's been those types of skirmishes that have gone on all throughout our solar system's history. And also through this local star cluster, which is at least, I think, 52 stars or so.
Right.
Now, as for the wider galaxy, that is beyond my purview of knowledge about if there's larger galactic wars going on.
Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. What's your question for Corey? You're live right now.
Hello?
You're live. You're on the air. Yeah, what's your question for Corey?
I'm so sorry. I didn't realize I got through. Hello, gentlemen. I'm Susan. I'm from Toledo, Ohio. And I have a question for Corey. It's a little bit of a two-part. Recently, just about a week ago, I had a brief conversation with Laura Eisenhower, and we were discussing how the Sphere Being Alliance is giving us, either get it together basically, or you're going to get 100 more years of what you have coming to you now. And I'm thinking a higher dimensional being, I don't see how they would be communicating in that way.
And they're not. And they're not. And that's what was communicated was that our collective consciousness was making a joint decision on how we were going to proceed, and that we are the ones deciding whether or not we will have these energies buffered for an age which can be up to 700 years, not just 100 years. That's something David stated at the Conscious Life Expo, when I would like to have stated it in a little bit of a different way. It's the Blue Avians aren't arbitrarily making a decision to block energies to come in and give us ascension. That's not what is occurring. What is occurring is that they're working in tandem with the cosmic life or beings and the way things work in the cosmos, and working in tandem with our collective consciousness in this transition. And our collective consciousness is making a free will decision on how we as a group will proceed.
And Susan,
I guess I just took it as a little bit of perhaps maybe the way it was worded was a little bit of a veiled threat. Another question I had real quick was, we were going to determine who the third party is in the Sphere Being Alliance, and why do you think they're withholding their identity? I'm just curious.
Oh, yeah. There's two other beings.
Well, let me jump in before you answer that. I just want to say, Susan, thank you for the phone call.
Thank you for taking my call. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much. Go ahead, Corey, finish.
Yeah, there are two other there are 5 members of the Sphere Being Alliance. We've introduced the blue spheres, the sphere beings, the blue avians, and then the triangle-headed beings. But there are 2 others that we've seen hide, hair, nor feather of, and they are not spoken of. So, if and when they come into the picture and how they come into the picture, I have no answer.
Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. What's your question for Corey Goode?
I wanted to ask him if in his conversation with Carrie, is there something else he can tell us about karma and about Sitchin not being right?
About Sitchin not being right?
Not being right in his translations.
Ah, okay. What's your name?
Carolina.
Thank you, Katerina. Have a good night. Thank you for the questions.
Good.
Go ahead, Corey.
Yeah, there's quite a bit in the conversation I had in the library, especially with Kari, that I'm going to be writing about when I need to get the time to get it all organized. But that conversation has had me up in my head more than any of my other experiences. I've spent so much time just sitting there, staring at the wall, thinking about all the things. And, when it comes to, further information about the information that Zachariah Sitchin has shared, that's what I've shared is pretty much what she communicated, was that he was working with 3 other people in secret societies and intelligence that were feeding him this information, that the overall information was contrived to create this narrative for his book, that it was based on information that was real, but was mostly a part of one of these cabal religious systems that they were trying to get other people to adopt. And that's pretty much the crux of what was discussed about that.
One last phone call. What's your question for Corey Goode? You are live.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you. Really quick.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Corey, I think I had an experience back in the 70s in New Hampshire, either a little bit before or after this book was published, and it was the same kind of alien that was sketched in the book. And it walked kind of like an Egyptian, to be quite, like, I'm not making a joke, but it really did. Its head bobbed. And it's always occurred to me ever since of hearing about the blue avians, do you know if they ever would, wear all black and have a big white kind of globe thing around their head? Or do you know of any beings that kind of walk like that would have an outfit like that?
No, that doesn't offhand. That description does not, strike any memories.
Oh, what about the black robes?
Well, there are different beings out there that are going to have different attire, and some of them are going to resemble each other.
Right, I got you.
Yeah.
Hey, Corey. Did you have fun tonight?
Hey, yeah, I did.
Man, great show. And I want to thank you for coming on. And we're going to do this again very soon. The audience, I know what they're saying right now. Church.
And before, and really, I hate to interrupt, but anybody that feels disempowered and wants to get involved with the Full Disclosure Project, we've got a sign-up sheet for people that want to get involved. We're just getting started, but if you want to come to fulldisclosureproject.org, please do.
Yeah, do that. And I know that website was just launched. And are there links from Sphere Being Alliance over to the new website?
Yeah, and right now I'm funding it all myself. But we have some very great volunteers that are putting a lot of hours in getting it up. The site just came up today, and there's going to be a lot more coming out. But it's not directly linked from spherebeинgalliance.com yet. It's standalone, but you should start seeing advertising and it being linked everywhere soon.
Okay, do me a favor, Corey. Drop me the link here so I can hand that over to everybody, and we can get that up both Twitter and Facebook and our website. And,
Absolutely.
And we'll get aggressive with all of that now. And you and I have a lot of stuff that we need to talk about. I'll follow up with you first thing in the morning. I just want to say thank you so much. Great conversation tonight. And we'll be doing this again, everybody, very, very, very soon. Thank you so much, Corey.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Be safe, my brother.
You too.
Corey Goode. That was a show. And that is the way we're going to kick off this week on Fade to Black. Tonight, Corey Goode. Tomorrow night, Joseph P. Farrell. Wednesday night, Richard Dolan. All of it, the Secret Space Program and Breakaway Civilizations. Corey Goode. And, I'm going to say this really quick. Corey is getting a little bit more comfortable with himself. And it showed tonight. And thank you, because being new to all of this is difficult at times, but he is getting better and better, and the conversations are getting smoother. Thank you so much, Corey. Absolutely brilliant conversation. And thank you to everybody that called in tonight. If you're on hold right now, if you're calling in, no more calls. But all brilliant phone calls tonight, and thank you to everybody that called in. All right, a couple of things I want to leave you with that I didn't get a chance to get to earlier in the show. The Russian embassy in the UK has publicly questioned why the British government has failed to address the retaking of Palmyra from ISIS, right? As we know, the news releases and reports started to come about over the last couple of days. Well, the Sunday recapture by the Syrian government was made possible with the help of Russian airstrikes. And Russia's upset that they're not getting credit, right? Calling the retaking a major victory over the Islamic State. And the embassy then went on to tweet that the British Foreign Office and the government branch dedicated to defeating the group had failed to acknowledge the efforts. Well, Great Britain came back with this. Today, the Foreign Office said that it welcomed the action against ISIS, but laid the responsibility for the entire conflict and the fate of the UNESCO World Heritage Site on the Syrian regime. That it's the Syrian regime's fault for the civil war in general and for the rise of ISIS. And there you go. And that was the British government's response. And then also today, the Cuban response by Fidel Castro about President Barack Obama's historic trip to the island last week was, not that cool. And Fidel Castro wrote an article today and said that, he titled it, by the way, Brother Obama. And he said that he rejected the visit and the words of reconciliation. And I'm quoting here from Castro. He said, we don't need the empire to give us anything. Yeah. Fidel. Now, wasn't it his brother that just shook hands with Obama and is happy about the flights and the commercial access and tourism and the money that's about to start flowing and trade and everything else that is opening up? And Fidel, like from his deathbed right now, is saying, we don't need anything. And I'm quoting. Unbelievable. Check this out. This was revealed today. In an open letter to voters supporting Donald Trump in the Republican presidential primary, the former communications director of Trump's now-defunct super PAC said that the former reality television star not only never expected to be the Republican nominee, but he never expected to be president, and he never wanted to be. Writing for the website exojane.com, Stephanie, now check this out. Her name is C. Gillespie, by the way, said that when she was brought aboard as communications director for the Make America Great PAC last summer, the instructions from Trump were to make sure that he finished a respectable second in the GOP primaries, and that it was made clear that Trump was running not as a serious contender, but as a protest candidate. I'm not making that up. You think that I am. I am not. A red warning has been issued after the Pavlov volcano in Alaska erupted yesterday, sending ash up to 20,000 feet into the air. The volcano is located on Alaska's Aleutian Islands. It erupted at 4:18 p.m. local time, causing tremors on the ground, some earthquakes, and this is according to the U.S. Geological Survey. The USGS has raised the volcano level alert warning and said it is now red, the highest level. The code red signifies that eruption is imminent or underway, and significant emission of volcanic ash into the atmosphere is about to happen. Ash was reportedly moving north after the eruption, and this is according to the Alaska Volcano Observatory. Lastly, Radovan Karadzic, the butcher of Bosnia, was just sentenced to 40 years in prison after being found guilty of genocide and other crimes against humanity over the atrocities that the Bosnian Serb forces committed during the Bosnian War during 1992 to 1995. A UN special court in The Hague found the 70-year-old guilty of genocide for his responsibility for 7,000 Bosnian Muslim men and boys that were executed by Serb forces under his command. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Want to thank Corey Goode for an amazing show. Thank you to everybody that called in. Sorry we couldn't get everybody in. Phone lines were jammed. Did the best I could. Fade to Black's executive producers, Rita Kamarian. Shows produced by Hilton J. Paul, Mark D. Kovar, LJ3, Renee, Mark Dunbar, Jonas. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Bob. Announcers are Steve Harder, Gene Vito, and Mark D. Kovar. Fady by Dale. Webmaster is Drew the Geek. Drew, you did an outstanding job tonight. Thank you so much. Music, Doug Aldrich.